بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعده. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, after giving thanks and adoration to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we send blessings and salutation upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his household, his companions, and those who succeeded them with sincerity until the day of judgment. We ask Almighty Allah to grant us all the beneficial knowledge and to ease the way to it for us. We ask Almighty Allah to facilitate our knowledge, to facilitate our memorization, to grant us good understanding of Islam, good understanding of the Quran, to grant us a strong and sharp memory to memorize the glorious Quran or to retain the memorization. Allahumma ameen. May Almighty Allah simplify everything we have been learning from the beginning of the book till where we are till the end of the book and afterwards. Allahumma ameen. Inshallah, we shall continue from where we stopped in our last lesson. Inshallah. As part of our tradition, any line or any topic we are taking or any line we are taking, we read and read and read so that inshallah when we listen to it, we follow up like that, the memorization will be easier for us. May Almighty Allah simplify the memorization for us and the understanding of it. Allahumma ameen. So we are taking أحكام الميم والنون المشددتين. أحكام الميم والنون المشددتين. أحكام الميم والنون المشددتين. سليمان الجمزوري رحمه الله, he said, وَقُلْنَ مِيمًا ثُمَّ نُونًا شُدِّدًا وَسَمِّ كُلًّا حَرْفَ غُنَّةٍ بَدًا. وَغُنَّ مِيمًا ثم نونا شددا وسم كلا حرف غنة بدا. وغن ميما ثم نونا شددا وسم كلا حرف غنة بدا. وغن ميما ثم نونا شددا وسم كلا حرف غنة بدا. وغن ميما ثم نونا شددا وسم كلا حرف غنة بدا. وغن ميما ثم نونا شددا وسم كلا حرف غنة بدا. وغن ميما ثم نونا شددا وسم كلا حرف غنة بدا. Inshallah, we'll also enter the أحكام الميم الساكنة. So maybe we'll take 2 or 3 lines from there. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. Then أحكامها 3 لمن ضبط إخفاء إدغام وإظهار فقط. أحكامها 3 لمن ضبط إخفاء إدغام وإظهار فقط. أحكامها 3 لمن ضبط إخفاء إدغام وإظهار فقط. أحكامها ثلاثة لمن ضبط. إخفاء إدغام وإظهار فقط. أحكامها ثلاثة لمن ضبط. إخفاء إدغام وإظهار فقط. أحكامها ثلاثة لمن ضبط. إخفاء إدغام وإظهار فقط. فالأول الإخفاء عند الباء وسمه الشفوي للقراء. 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 May Allah make it easier for us. Amen. As our tradition, we'll take the first line we have today, that is وَغُنَّ مِيمًا ثُمَّ نُونًا شُدِّدًا وَسَمِّ كُلًّا حَرْفَ غُنَّةٍ بَدًا. We'll break it into vocabularies. We explain each word, then we translate, then we explain. Translate, then we what? We explain. So, gunna meaning make or apply gunna. Shuddida meaning when they, that is known and what's a name. When they have shadda. Sammi, name. Kullan, all or each one. Harfin, harfa, later. Bada, clear or apparent. To translate this line 17th. وَغُنَّ مِيمًا ثُمَّ نُونًا شُدِّدًا, meaning and apply gunna to meme, then the noon whenever they are having, whenever they have a shadda. Apply gunna to meme, then the noon when they have what? A shadda. And name each of them, the noon and the meme, a letter of gunna, which is what? Which is clear. To further explain, when the noon or the meme are mushaddada, meaning when they are having what shadda, then the gunna is in both of them should be read clearly. It should be clear. So when the noon or the meme are mushaddada, then the gunna is in both of them should be read clearly, more clearly than any other place. So, due to the gunna being so apparent in these letters, each one of them will be called a letter of gunna. Due to the gunna being so apparent, being so clear, in these two letters, that's nun and meme, or meme and nun, when having shadda, when they are both mushaddada, each one of them will be called a letter of gunna. A letter of gunna. A letter of gunna. Example of meme with shadda, for example, وَلَمَّا لَمَّا أُمَّةً. I'll bring just one verse and we use it as an example of what? Of meme and nun al-mushaddadatain. In Surah Al-Qasas, verse 23, where Almighty Allah is saying, وَلَمَّا وَرَدَ مَاءَ مَدْيَنَ وَجَدَ عَلَيْهِ أُمَّةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ يَسْقُونَ لما محل الشاهد أمة من الناس. Both the meme and the noon al-mushaddadatan are here in this verse. ولما ورد ماء مدين وجد عليه أمة من الناس يسقون. وجد عليه أمة من الناس يسقون ووجد من دونهم امرأتين تذودان. قال ما خطبكما قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء وأبونا شيخ كبير. Even the next verse is having meme too. فسقى لهما ثم تولى إلى الظل فقال رب إني even نون مشددة فقال رب إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير. فسقى لهما ثم تولى إلى الظل فقال رب إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير. So, the two examples are here, both noon and meme al-mushaddadatan. So, let's practice. When noon or meme are having shadda, are both mushaddada, the gunna in them will be pronounced more clearly than any other places. More clearly than al-idgham bi gunna, more clearly than ikhfa, more clearly than iqalab. Even when we are in levels of gunna, the highest level of gunna is when noon or meme are having shadda. Like the example we just read. The highest level of gunna, meaning when you are doing the gunna, the one that should be longer, it should be what? When both noon and meme are having shadda. Followed by idgham bi gunna, they are both in the same category. Then the second category, al-ikhfa falls into it, al-iqala falls into it, like that. Then the next line we have here is line 18. As ahkam al-mimi, we are already in ahkam al-mimi as-sakina, the rules of meme as sakina. We are done with the rules of meme and noon mushaddadatain. We are in rules of meme sakina now. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة للحجاء. تجي, it means to come. It was originally taji'u, but the hamza at the end of the word is dropped to keep the rhyme scheme. In some prints, it appears with the hamza, both are allowed. So, though preference is given to the word, to the first, since most copies appears without it. All copies appear without the hamza except for the copy of Sheikh Muhammad Atiq. Dr. Ashraf mentions both, giving preference to read it without what? Without the hamza. Al-Hija, the alphabet, meaning the letters of the alphabet. The hamza at the end has also been what? Been dropped. It was originally al-hija'u. Then la means not, or excluding, or except. Alif layyinatin means soft alif, referring to the what? The alif of mad. Al-hija means intellect, brains, understanding. To translate line 18, wal mimu in taskun taji qabla al-hija, meaning And the meme when it has a sukun, والميم إن تسكن, and the meme when it has sukun, تجي قبل الهجاء, coming before the letters of the alphabet, لا ألف اللينة, meaning إلا ألف اللينة, except or excluding the soft alif, لذي الحجاء, for the possessor of intellect. To further explain, the rules applicable to the meme sakina will be based on the letter of the alphabet that follows the meme sakina. Therefore, before the author actually starts explaining the rules, he states that the meme sakina can appear before all the letters of the alphabet except the alif. The person who possesses a little understanding will know that two sakina letters do not come together in the Arabic language except during waqf, when you're stopping, when it is allowed. That is when it is allowed. So a meme which is sakina will never be followed by an alif, because the alif is always what? Is always sakin. The alif is always what? Is always sakin. So we move to text number 19. He said, أحكامها ثلاثة لمن ضبط إخفاء وإدغام وإظهار فقط. أحكامها means its rules. ثلاثة, three. لمن, for him. ضبط, precision. فقط, only. To translate, its rules, meaning the meme's rules. ثلاثة are three. For لمن ضبط, for him who wants precision. The first one, إخفاء. The second one, إدغام. The third one, an izhar only. It has no ifqalab. So, in this line, the author, Suleiman al-Jamzuri rahimahullah, mentions that there are three rules for the meme sakina. First one, ikhfa. Second one, idgham. Third one, al-izhar. So, that is why in the next line, he embarks on an explanation of these three rules. Of this what? Three rules. Of this what? Three rules. Of this what? Three rules. Of these three rules. Where he's saying, فَالْأَوَّلُ الْإِخْفَاءُ عِنْدَ الْبَاءِ وَسَمِّهِ الشَّفَوِيَّ لِلْقُرَّاءِ. سَمِّهِ meaning name it. Of meme sakina. Al-Shafawiyya means labial, meaning coming from the lips. Lil-Qurra'i, according to the Qurra, reciters or readers of the Quran. To translate this text number 20, he said, so that the first rule is ikhfa. So the first rule is ikhfa. The first rule is ikhfa. When the meme sakina appears by the ba. The first rule is ikhfa. فَالْأَوَّلُ الْإِخْفَاء إِنْدَ الْبَاءِ. The first rule is ikhfa when the meme sakina appears by the ba. وَسَمِّهِ, and name it. وَسَمِّهِ الشَّفَوِيَّ لِلْقُرَّاءِ, and named it, meaning this ikhfa, named it labial ikhfa. Al-ikhfa'u al-shafawi. Labial what? Ikhfa. Meaning ikhfa coming from the word, from the lips. Meaning ikhfa, which its letters is coming from the word, from the limb. So according to all the Qur'an. So the first rule of the meme sakina is ikhfa. It will take place if the meme sakina comes before a ba. The first rule of the meme sakina is ikhfa. And this ikhfa will take place if the meme sakina comes before a ba. The ikhfa of meme sakina is called ikhfa shafawi, or the labial ikhfa, because the meme sakina is pronounced from the lips. And the application of ikhfa, that's ikhfa means concealing of the meme. will therefore also take place in the words, in the lips. So this rule will be applied by all the Qur'an. In some copies, instead of in al-ba'i, there comes qabla al-ba'i in some copies. So the letter being mentioned by al-Jamzuri himself, Sheikh Muhammad Atik seems to agree, citing the letter in the core text and mentioning the word, the first in the word in his footnote. So most copies seems to give preference, including Dabba, his own copy, Muhammad Mihi, and what? And Dr. Ashraf in their own copies. So that is it.